Hello, colorful creators! Today we're going to create some beautiful leaf art. And we're going to do this in two different styles. But the two different projects are going to both begin the exact same way, with watercolor paper that's taped down. As you can see, I'm measuring and making sure that my edges are all the same. You can do it however you want. If you just kind of want to eyeball it, that's fine too. After you get your paper taped down, then go ahead and gather the other supplies that are all listed in the description below. I've got some watercolor paints, some water, and paintbrushes. My 3-year-old son is joining me for the creation of this project, and we had so much fun painting side by side. The first thing that you're going to do for this process is just to create a watercolor background. Now, there is really no right or wrong way to do this. This part is all about just exploring and having fun. Experiment with the way that you put the paint on the page. Try using lots of water first and then dipping a paintbrush that's full of paint into it and watching the color bleed onto the page. Make some different shapes and then outline those shapes. Make spots or use a water bottle to spritz a page full of color. There is so much that you can do, so many ways to experiment and try new things throughout this process, and it's really fun to do it side by side with your little one. My son was definitely watching what I was doing and asking throughout the process, "Mom, how do you do that? I want to do that. Can you show me?" And it was really fun just to navigate those things together and try new things together. So if you're able, parents, I highly encourage you to try this process with your little ones. Once you've filled your page with color, you can even add salt. Now you may be thinking, salt? What does salt do for art? But it reacts with the watercolors and creates a really neat effect. And we went a little bit crazy with the salt. There was so much salt, but my son was having so much fun with it, and once it dried, there was a lot of scraping to do. So make sure that if you use salt, wait till it is fully dry before you scrape all the salt off your page, and then move on to the next step. Alright, now that all that salt is finally scraped off, it's time to begin the first process for creating our leaf prints. Now, as you can see, I just pulled out my Colorfull paint sticks. If you've never used these, I highly recommend them. They're very affordable and they're awesome. They're so versatile and they're washable, so they're great for creators of all ages. I was kind of experimenting at this stage and I just used the paint stick in and of itself, but realized it wasn't quite wet enough to make a good transfer. So I'm adding a little bit of water right now to my leaf with that paint stick on it, and I'm gonna stamp it again. I found that this method worked best. You can also try using the back of a spoon to rub on to your leaf to make sure that you get a really good transfer, but I felt like that did a pretty good job. So I'm just gonna begin to repeat this process over and over again until I fill up my page with enough leaf prints. You don't have to use the same color for this if you don't want. You can make multiple colored leaf stamps. I chose to stick with one color though. Here I'm just adding some water and moving that paint around a little bit more just to make my leaf shape stand out even further. Again, it's just water on my brush at this stage. Really easy, just moving around the paint that's already there within the outline that was created. Now it's time to move on to process number 2, and this process is great for really young creators. It's just washable paint onto a sponge, and you're simply gonna lay your leaf on top, press it into that washable paint, stick it right on your page, and then press it on your page. If you don't happen to have washable paint, you can certainly use acrylic. I just like washable for younger creators. If you happen not to have either of those, consider maybe an ink pad instead. Finish filling up that page with as many leaf prints as you want. I decided that my first project needed a little bit more subtlety to the background. So I'm going back and adding a very light and transparent wash over my background. And this is just going to help my leaves stand out a bit more, as it pushes everything that's happening in the background back a little bit further. It makes it a little bit less busy and chaotic, but yet we can still see some of those patterns and textures that we created before through the transparent wash that we're doing. And if you're wondering, what's a wash? A wash is simply just watered down paint. And transparent means that it's see-through. So it's watered down see-through paint that I'm just gonna put over it, almost like as if I was adding a layer of tissue paper over top of something else. We can still kind of see through it, but it's making it a little bit less distracting. Once all the paint is dried, peel off the tape and enjoy your masterpiece. Thanks so much for creating with us. Like the video and subscribe to our channel to create more memories and masterpieces with Colorfull.